Hello everyone, welcome to Kaleidoscope channel. On November 14, 1908, Emperor Guangxu passed away at the age of 37. Empress Dowager Cixi acted swiftly, choosing the 3-year-old Pui as the successor to the throne, while she herself was honored with the title of Grand Empress Dowager. However, just one day later, on November 15, Empress Dowager Cixi died in the Ilwan Hall at the age of 73. She was eventually buried in the Dingdong Mausoleum in Hebei. Her posthumous title consisted of 23 characters, commonly abbreviated as Empress Shaoqin Xian. This woman, who had wielded power over the Qing dynasty for nearly half a century, ended her controversial life after 48 years of rule. News of her death plunged the Forbidden City into chaos. Her body was placed outside the Ilwan Hall, guarded only by a dozen kneeling eunuchs, with no close family members by her side. Her remains were simply covered with a yellow cloth, and the hall was dimly lit, creating a particularly desolate atmosphere. This scene stood in stark contrast to the powerful and luxurious image of Empress Dowager Cixi during her lifetime. It wasn't until Pui was formally enthroned and Guangxu's empress was honored as Empress Dowager Longyu that the funerals of both Empress Dowager Cixi and Emperor Guangxu began to be systematically organized. It is widely known that during her life, Empress Dowager Cixi was renowned for her extravagance, and she accumulated vast wealth while in power. According to historical records, she once ordered the construction of a highly secretive hidden chamber to store her most precious treasures. The design of the chamber was extremely ingenious, and only Cixi herself knew the exact location of the entrance. The entrance was concealed behind what appeared to be an ordinary wall, decorated with intricate patterns that made it indistinguishable from a real wall at first glance. In 1900, when the Eight-Nation Alliance invaded Beijing, Empress Dowager Cixi fled in haste to Xi'an, taking Emperor Guangxu with her. Before fleeing, she specifically instructed eunuchs to hide valuable gold, silver, jade, and antiques in the secret chamber. To ensure the chamber's security, she implemented strict confidentiality measures. When she returned to Beijing, the palace had already been looted, but the treasures inside the hidden chamber remained untouched, a result of her meticulous planning. Moreover, the existence of the secret chamber only became known to a few insiders after Cixi's death. When Empress Dowager Longyu learned that the chamber had deteriorated over time, she decided to have it renovated. She even sent people to open it, and what they saw inside was breathtaking. It is said that the mechanism at the entrance was quite complex. After activating a hidden latch beneath the wall, a stone panel would slowly part, revealing an empty decoy chamber. Within this space was another concealed mechanism, which had to be triggered again to access the real chamber. After passing through several layers of traps, one would finally reach Cixi's private bedroom. The room was filled with treasures, gold and silver wares, jade carvings, rare paintings and calligraphy, each crafted with extraordinary skill. A feast for the eyes. The most striking item was said to be a bamboo tube taken from the Burmese royal palace, intricately carved and reputedly capable of capturing the faintest sounds within 100 paces. Empress Dowager Cixi kept it by her pillow, as a safeguard against potential threats to her safety. This ingenious design not only showcased Cixi's immense wealth, but also reflected her extreme concern for security. However, Cixi's lavish lifestyle extended far beyond the treasures in the secret chamber. Her 60th birthday celebration was another testament to her extravagance. In 1892, Emperor Guangxu issued an edict, ordering all departments to begin preparations for Empress Dowager Cixi's birthday festivities 2 years in advance. The Qing dynasty had always placed great importance on the birthdays of royal family members, but Empress Dowager Cixi's celebration was unprecedented in scale and extravagance. According to historical records, the total cost of the event reached a staggering 2.98 million taels of silver. The sources of these funds were diverse, part of the money came directly from the national treasury. Another part was diverted from special funds originally allocated for border defense and railway construction. And the rest came from donations by officials across the country. Empress Dowager Cixi did not spend a single coin from her personal treasury. Every expense was covered by the state or local officials. This approach sparked considerable controversy at the time, as the national treasury was supposed to support national development, not personal festivities. Some historical accounts describe the preparations as extremely elaborate. All of Cixi's garments and jewelry were custom-made for the occasion. Her robes were embroidered with exquisite patterns, using only the finest silk and brocade. On the day of the celebration, she was carried in a golden sedan chair that shimmered under the sun, exuding imperial majesty. The Forbidden City and the Summer Palace underwent major renovations. Streets were draped in yellow brocade and adorned with lavish decorations. The temples she visited for rituals and the roads along her route were also refurbished. During the festivities, the palace held multiple grand banquets. And the opera performances, which lasted for several days, drew huge crowds. All of Beijing was immersed in a festive atmosphere. Yet this extravagant celebration sharply contrasted with the nation's dire situation. In 1894, during the First Sino-Japanese War, China faced the loss of territory and suffering among its people. Empress Dowager Cixi seemed indifferent to this crisis, insisting on hosting her opulent birthday feast. While the treasury was nearly empty, the army was poorly equipped, and the people struggled to survive. Cixi's celebration consumed vast sums of money. Her actions not only worsened the people's hardships but also caused many to question her leadership. Furthermore, in 1900, when the Eight-Nation Alliance invaded Beijing, Empress Dowager Cixi fled in haste to Xi'an with the Guangxu Emperor and a small entourage. The early days of the escape were extremely harsh. The group appeared disorganized and pitiful. They left the palace hurriedly with minimal belongings. However, as the group expanded during the journey, Cixi gradually resumed her old Buddha demeanor. By the time they reached Taiyuan, she began using ceremonial flags once used by Emperor Qianlong during his Western inspection tours. When traveling, she was preceded by 24 dragon flags, creating a majestic scene. After arriving in Xi'an, her luxurious lifestyle was fully restored. In the temporary palace there, her daily meals were prepared by over 100 chefs and eunuchs, with more than 100 dishes per meal. These included bird's nest soup, shark fin, fresh vegetables transported from the south, and various rare meats. The cost of food alone exceeded 500 taels of silver per day. To ensure a steady supply of fresh milk, she kept 6 dairy cows in the palace, with significant monthly expenses. Because she didn't have enough clothing during the escape, she ordered urgent production of imperial robes from Jiangsu, while silken fabrics were gathered from across the country and sent to Xi'an to make her daily wear. She also instructed local officials to provide grain and silver to support her daily expenditures. To secure loyalty, she frequently rewarded her entourage. On one occasion, she gave Ma Yuquan 10,000 taels of silver and Qin Chunxian 2,000 taels. When returning to Beijing, her procession was even grander, with thousands of large carts loaded with gold and silverware, antiques, and silk tributes from all over the country, looking like a triumphant return rather than a retreat from war. Historical records also show that Cixi's obsession with luxury extended to her clothing and personal items. She loved wearing long-sleeved cheongsams, each sleeve adorned with over 80 pearls. She owned hundreds of such robes, symbolizing her extreme opulence. One of her most valuable pieces was a shawl woven from 3,500 pearls, all uniform in size and luster, crafted with exceptional skill and worth a fortune. It is said that Cixi not only used pearls for decoration but also believed pearl powder had beauty benefits. She regularly ground pearls into powder for both internal and external use to maintain her appearance. Her burial included countless pearls and treasures, reportedly worth billions of taels of silver, an astonishing sum. According to some historians, Empress Dowager Cixi's life was full of controversy. Her talents made her one of the most influential women in Qing dynasty history. But her actions left a complex and often debated legacy. This is the Kaleidoscope channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you and see you in the next time.